Last week we explored the child archetype called the rebel. Today we explore the third of the three main child archetypes of the mother wound that we may carry into our adult life, the black sheep. And again, this is a great video for journaling, as I will ask some self-reflective questions. Find out which archetype you most resonate with, based on the characteristics I will explain after a short introduction. Hi, it's Monika, your intuitive trauma transformation coach, who helps you face and successfully navigate through the storms of life, guiding you through a most powerful self-healing process and teaching you all the mindfulness tools you need to embark on your journey to your core self and create the life you've always envisioned. Let's quickly repeat the definition of the mother wound. It refers to the pain that originates from our maternal relationships and is inherited across generations, significantly impacting our adult lives. Unresolved, this wound is transmitted from our grandmothers to our mothers, from our mothers to us, from us to the next generation, and so on. As young children, our fundamental needs for love, safety, and belonging were intertwined with the harmful belief that being small, unheard, and submissive was necessary for love. Consequently, the mother wound predisposes us to adult struggles with persistent low self-esteem, shame, self-doubt, guilt, and feelings of inadequacy. Healing the mother wound involves assuming responsibility for our healing, embracing our inner gifts without shame, and freeing our soul from the bonds of submissiveness to achieve authenticity and wholeness. The mother wound isn't something we need to avoid or feel shame about. It's a doorway to our full power and potential. Before we explore the symptoms, dynamics, and then the benefits of healing, please quickly click on subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and hit the bell as well. Please let me know in the comments box below how you liked the video and if you recognized your mother wound child archetype. If you are in a hurry, please just leave me an emoji to show your support. Thanks so much. Let's have a look at the black sheep. Are you perceptive, insightful, and ahead of the curve? Do you see things other people don't? Although this is a gift, has it led you to feeling misunderstood by others in many moments of your life? Do you generally value community and connections and yet are very critical of people and slow to trust? Do you have big ideas and visions and yet may feel hesitant to be more visible with them out in the world? Do you feel conflicted about wanting to belong more deeply in contrast to protecting your heart from those who seem superficial, unconscious, and unaware? Do you have patterns of over-functioning in relationships or accepting less than your worth? Are you acting introverted or do you isolate yourself sometimes as a means of self-protection? Do these dynamics with your mother during your upbringing sound familiar? Would you say that your mother was neglectful or even abusive, or at least emotionally absent? She may have been well-meaning, but would you call her unreliable or even overtly cruel or unkind? Do you think of her as unpredictably warm or cutting toward you, which was understandably confusing to you as a child? Hopefully your intelligence and perceptiveness protected you a bit, as you could see what was happening from an early age on. Do you remember having been targeted with abuse, shaming, or ridicule? I do. Were you forced to be resourceful and had to be strong as a little child? Oh, yes. If you had other siblings, were they favored, which made you feel inferior, forsaken, or unlovable? Have you struggled with wondering why your mother was so rejecting or harsh toward you? Did life seem unfair and you had many lonely moments as a child? I had them. Have you escaped into books, nature, music, or other interests? Yes, I did. Into movies. Looking at the dynamics with your mother as an adult, has your relationship always been conflicted and complicated? Has it been a struggle to feel seen by her as a separate person and to actually feel that you fit in with your family much at all? Does your mother seem to assume that she knows everything about you and expresses little curiosity or interest in your feelings or your life in general, which really frustrates you every time you are with her? I can tell you stories about that. Do the conversations with her tend to be superficial, and does she bring the subject back to herself quite often? Do you often feel ignored by her? Do you feel like having one-sided conversations in which you are expected to be the listener? Does this regularly drain and exhaust you, but you feel stuck and unsure as how to shift this? Do other people in and outside the family take up much more space and you seem to fade into the background? Have you ever started to speak up and use your voice, which was met with shaming or backlashing actions from your mother? Have you attempted to sever all contact with your mother only to find that it didn't yield the healing and thriving outcome you had anticipated? Just reflect on the symptoms of how the mother wound manifests for the black sheep. Are you over-functioning? Being a perfectionist, kind of? Are you constantly emotionally exhausted and feeling unseen in almost every area of your life? Do you have difficulty setting boundaries, speaking your truth, or asking for what you want? Do you feel anger or resentment about feeling ignored and abandoned instead of being appreciated and unconditionally loved? Do you often compare yourself with others and desperately seek attention? Is there a push-pull pattern that appears like a delicate thread woven through your life tugging you in opposing directions, longing for deeper family connection on one side, while simultaneously grappling with shock or even disgust at certain behaviors and values within your family unit? Do you seek emotional closeness and understanding, yet at times recoil from aspects that clash with your own values or cause emotional turmoil? Do you feel fear, shame, and bewilderment at why your mother is resistant to bonding more deeply with you and being more interested in your life? Do you feel despair and frustration at how dysfunctional your family has been and how resistant they are to change? Do you finally feel ready to step away from them for the sake of your own health and well-being? Now imagine the benefits after healing your mother wound. How would your life change if you no longer settled for relationships that drain or exhaust you? How would your relationships change if you were able to say no respectfully and without feeling guilt? How would it feel to speak your truth no matter what others thought of you? How would your life change if you freed yourself of guilt and shame and lived uninhibited and free? How would it feel to have higher standards for your relationships instead of settling for less? How would your life change if you felt fierce about what you deserve and created a purposeful, authentic, and fulfilling life for yourself? What if you could create deep connections without entanglements, codependency, or drama? Can you imagine how fast you could heal yourself if you could commit to positive and empowering self-talk? How would your whole life change if you loved yourself unconditionally and opened your heart to limitless new possibilities? How would your whole well-being improve if you saw yourself as a perceptive leader ahead of the curve rather than as an outcast? So you may ask, how do we heal the mother wound? Now that we have explained the 3 main child archetypes, we'll talk about the healing process in next week's video. In general, it is the same for all mother wounds. Stay tuned. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments box below. Peace begins with me. Namaste, namaste. And remember, you deserve to break free and live your magic every day.